Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Book Summary 5, the 5-Minute Summary channel. I'm Sammy, your host, and today we're diving into No Ordinary Time, Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, The Home Front in World War II by Doris Kearns Goodwin. This Pulitzer Prize-winning book provides an intimate look at one of the most significant periods in American history, focusing on the partnership between Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt during World War II. It offers a deep exploration of their personal and political lives, and how together they shaped the course of the United States during a time of unprecedented global conflict. Let's explore the key themes and events so you'll feel like you've read it cover to cover. At the heart of No Ordinary Time is the powerful and complex relationship between Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. Goodwin portrays Franklin as a master politician and leader who guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, while Eleanor emerges as a passionate advocate for social justice and human rights. Their marriage was unconventional, marked by periods of emotional distance, but also a deep partnership where both had significant influence over the direction of the country. Goodwin begins by setting the scene in the early 1940s, just as World War II is beginning to engulf Europe. Franklin Roosevelt, then in his third term as president, is steering the U.S. toward greater involvement in the war, despite widespread isolationist sentiment in the country. Eleanor, meanwhile, is deeply involved in domestic issues, particularly civil rights and labor rights, and works tirelessly to push her husband and the country to address social inequalities at home, even as the war draws the nation's attention abroad. A central theme in the book is how the Roosevelts balanced the war effort with domestic challenges. While Franklin focused on military strategy and international diplomacy, Eleanor used her platform as First Lady to advocate for the poor, minorities, and women. Goodwin illustrates how Eleanor's relentless activism on the home front helped drive many of the progressive changes that emerged during this period, from the establishment of New Deal programs to greater opportunities for women and African Americans. One of the most striking elements of the book is how Goodwin contrasts Franklin's leadership style with Eleanor's. Franklin was a pragmatist, often willing to compromise and maneuver politically to achieve his goals, while Eleanor was an idealist, pushing relentlessly for moral and ethical action, regardless of the political cost. This dynamic created tension between them, but also led to a balanced approach that allowed the U.S. to address both its international obligations and domestic needs during the war. Goodwin also explores the Roosevelt White House as a hub of activity and influence. She paints vivid portraits of key figures who were close to the Roosevelts during this time, from Winston Churchill and Harry Hopkins to Lorena Hickok and Missy Lujan. The White House became not just the seat of political power, but also a social center where discussions about the war, human rights, and the future of the nation took place. This vibrant and often chaotic environment helped shape key decisions that would define the war effort and post-war world. As the book progresses, Goodwin delves into Franklin Roosevelt's health struggles and the strain they placed on his presidency. Despite his physical decline, Franklin continued to exert remarkable influence, particularly through his famous fireside chats, where he communicated directly with the American public, offering reassurance and mobilizing support for the war effort. Eleanor, meanwhile, became even more vocal in her push for civil rights, seeing the war as a critical moment to address racial injustice, particularly as African Americans fought in segregated units abroad while facing discrimination at home. Goodwin's portrayal of World War II on the home front is another key aspect of the book. She highlights how the war transformed American society, from the mobilization of industry and the workforce to the changing roles of women, who entered the labor force in unprecedented numbers. Eleanor was a major advocate for women's rights during this time, championing their role in the war effort and advocating for their continued presence in the workforce after the war. In the final chapters, Goodwin examines the end of the war and the final days of Franklin Roosevelt's presidency. His sudden death in 1945 shocked the nation, and Eleanor was thrust into the spotlight as she grieved the loss of her husband while continuing her work for social justice. The book closes with Eleanor's legacy, highlighting how she carried forward many of the causes she had championed during the war years, becoming a key figure in the founding of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In summary, No Ordinary Time by Doris Kearns Goodwin provides a richly detailed and intimate portrait of Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt during World War II. Through their partnership, the book explores the balance between leadership in times of global conflict and the pursuit of social justice at home. It's a powerful narrative of two extraordinary individuals whose efforts shaped the modern world, both on the battlefield and in the fight for equality. Thank you for tuning in to Book Summary 5. If you enjoyed this summary, please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy reading.